Kwaramogia Juang gi osiepewa mamoko machiegni uru lalruok joluo. Lalruok is a very interesting Luo word that on its face value is taken to loosely mean fellowship. But what does fellowship mean? I'm fellowshipping with them. I'm fellowshipping with her. What does fellowship convey? Lalruok, on the other hand, is an interesting Luo word that is made up of two interesting words, lal and ruok. Lal simply means to disappear. Ruok simply means into. So lal ruok, when it's put together, it is to disappear into something that I'm engaged in. An example would be if you and I were to lock horns in a conversation, chances are you will be approaching that conversation from an informed point of opinion. Similarly, I will also be approaching that conversation from an informed point of opinion. But in Lalruok, the flexibility of the people engaging is this: I am tolerant enough to allow you to influence me. So in Lalruok, I will allow my points to disappear into your points because I am flexible in engaging with you. So at the end of that engagement, my point will be your point and your point will be my point in an atmosphere of respect. Let me let you in on a little secret. The way we approach this content is I approach all this content from this point. I might not know, and I don't know. So in this atmosphere, I am flexible enough to allow you to influence my reasoning. I also hope that you are flexible and tolerant enough to allow me influence your reasoning. When we do that, walalore. When we do that, we are learning from each other. We are influencing each other. A time is coming, 50 years from now, you will be the jadongo. People will want to quote. What will people quote from you? It's very important to always have that attitude of, I am flexible enough not to think that I know. I am flexible enough to allow myself to learn from my brother, to learn from my sister. The Luo culture is at a threat. There are three interesting words that are at a threat: custom, culture, and heritage. Custom simply means yorewa. That is what customs is. Custom is an observance of a practice. When you are observing a particular practice over a period of time, that is what it's known as custom. Culture, on the other hand, timbewa, simply means this: the observance of a practice that has become my way of life. That is what culture is. So whenever we are approaching culture, we are approaching culture from a point of this observance of this practice has informed our way of life throughout our existence. The third interesting word is what it's called heritage. Heritage now is the meaning or the reason why we did what we did and the meanings we draw from what we did. Allow me to give you a typical example. Nagolak. The removal of 6 lower teeth is called Nagolak. Nagolak was an observance that people used to look forward to. I might not want to look forward to Nagolaka. I might not look forward to pulling my 6 teeth. But guess what? My ancestors used to look forward to Nagolak. Nagolak was our custom. It was an observance. When we did that over a long period of time, then Nagolak became our culture. Recently, I had an engagement with an interesting Luo man called Sibur. Sibur told me this: did you know that part of Nagolak was also as a badge of identity during warfare? Because as we would shout, yeah, then I would see the person I'm about to hurl a spear at is actually my brother because of Nagolak. But that's another point. I allowed Sibur in an atmosphere of Lalruok because previously I held a point that Nagolak was purposely for medicinal purposes. Yes, Nagolak was also for medicinal purposes, but Sibur made me understand that Nagolak was also an identity during times of war. So Nagolak, the removal of 6 lower teeth, performed 3 important functions. One, it was our custom. It was our practice that we had an observance. 2, it was our culture because we did that numerously throughout our existence, And last and more importantly, the heritage in Nagolak was Nagolak performed medicinal purposes, in that when an older man or an elderly man was sick, we would feed them through the gap that the 6 lower teeth have left. That is what we call lalruok. So the next time someone calls you, Wudomera, biwalalre watch moro, Nyathinya wanda, biwalalre watch moro. What they want is, can we create an atmosphere of respect that I am flexible enough to learn from you? Lalruok is the ability to be influenced by someone that you are engaging with. Dhoudi, making learning language simpler.